In Enlighten Your Game, this video is about optimism. You know, the old example of optimist versus pessimist is glasses half full versus glasses half empty. Well, that's not how we explain it anymore. We explain it in terms of attributions or explanations for failure. And optimists explain failure different from pessimists. And let me give you the prototypical example of an optimist, Thomas Edison. And everybody knows he invented the light bulb, or the longer lasting filament in a light bulb. And he said he failed 10,000 times before he invented the correct filament. But he said those weren't failures, those were just stepping stones to success. And that's how he explained his failures. They were just stepping stones to success. So then he was more motivated, he was more confident, he knew he was going to be successful. And the idea here is that we all fail. You fail, I fail, everybody fails. That's just the part of life. And the idea is that people who are successful have so many failures, but you don't see their failures. I call this the iceberg profile. If you know about an iceberg, you can only see about 5% above the water. Well, it's the same thing with failures. Most people, they have so many failures, but you only see a couple of the successes. And you don't understand that people who have been hugely successful have one failure after another, just like Thomas Edison. But here's the rub. How do these people overcome those failures? How do they become more resilient? How do they bounce back from those failures? And one of the best ways to do that is to become more optimistic. Well, how do you become more optimistic? Well, here's how you do it. It's called the TUF strategy, T-U-F. T stands for being temporary. And you might say to yourself like, well, I just didn't have it today. I just didn't have my best stuff. And then U stands for unique, or really specific for that task. Well, you know, that person didn't match up with my game, or that course didn't match up with my game. It was specific for that one event. Failure was specific. And then F stands for flexible. It means it's within our control. Things like strategy. And you might say, well, if I change my strategy, if I become more aggressive and I play serve and volley, let's say in tennis, I'm going to become more successful. The idea is when you blame it on things that are temporary, unique, and flexible, you believe success is around the corner. What pessimists do is they blame it on things that are permanent, global, and not within their control. And therefore, really the opposite of what optimists do. Success is not around the corner. If they fail, they believe failure is continual. But that's not what optimists believe. They believe success is around the corner because they follow the TUF strategy. So think about this. Next time you fail, ask yourself, what explanations are you using for those failures? If you're using permanent basis, if you're using things like, I just don't have it, I'm never going to have it, well, you're going to believe you're going to continue to fail. But you can change that. You can flip the switch and you can start thinking, well, maybe it was temporary or maybe it was specific. You can change your thinking. And when you change your thinking, you will become more optimistic. And when you become more optimistic, you will become more successful. In fact, we have research that says optimists actually live longer than pessimists. Not only are they more successful in business, they live longer. So it's so much better to be optimistic. So the first step is think about what you're saying to yourself as it relates to that failure, flip the switch, turn it to TUF, and you will become more optimistic and you will become more successful.